Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. I'm your host, Captain Mike, and I'm excited because tonight we're drinking some whiskey. This is the highest rated American whiskey from the International Wine and Spirits Competition 2023. And I know what you're thinking. Captain, a few months ago, you did a video of the highest rated American whiskey from the International Wine and Spirits Competition from 2023. And that is correct. That was the Bardstown Bourbon Company White Label Origin Series 6-year-old bourbon. Scored 98 points, I believe, at that competition. And I said during that video that there was another whiskey that had the same score, and another American whiskey that had the same score, but I couldn't find that whiskey, and so I didn't review it back then. So a few weeks ago, I came across this whiskey, I picked it up, and here we go. The highest rated American whiskey from the International Wine and Spirits Competition from 2023. The 1792, aged 12 years. And it is worth mentioning that in the time I filmed that first video until today, the 1792, aged 12 years has also won the world's best bourbon from the World Whiskeys Award in 2024. So I've had a couple pours from this bottle, and I'm excited to get back into it tonight and see again if it's still worth those 98 points. And this bottle is also another good reason that you should join a whiskey Facebook society or some group or club in your area. I was having lunch with a friend just a couple of weeks ago, and a message popped up on my Facebook feed, and a liquor store that was very close to me had these on this shelf. And so I finished my lunch with my friend, ran over to that store and picked this up. And when I bought this bottle, it wasn't a pack. So I had to purchase this along with this bottle of Myers rum. We don't really drink a lot of rum, though you can see we're kind of powering through this bottle already. Mrs. Captain, she likes it in her Coke. And you know, I actually don't really care for that rum, but it's okay. So these two together were $79. I believe the MSRP is $49 for this bottle, but I paid $79 for both these. So that Myers rum, the MSRP is $27 at Total Wine & More. So I would value this in that packet somewhere between 50 and 60 bucks. So well worth the price, I think, and super excited about that. And that's again why I think everyone should have some group or club like that to let you know when cool bottles drop in the neighborhood. Okay, let's get the specs and stats of the 1792, aged 12 years. Mash bill is undisclosed. It's thought to be a higher rye bourbon, somewhere anywhere between 12 and I've seen 15 to 25%. This is of course aged 12 years. It's bottled at a nice 96.6 proof. MSRP, I believe, is $49.99 for this bottle. It's not a readily available bourbon. In fact, I was asking one of the local liquor store owners around here, and she buys a lot of whiskey. And she said it's been years and years since she's seen an aged 12 years in the Bay here. So I was really happy to see this. And to be honest with you, ever since I bought this bottle, it's been regularly available here in the Bay. Okay, let's get it. 1792. So what do you think of 1792? I've been to Kentucky now a few times, and they closed just a couple of years ago their distillery to tours. So no guests, no tours. They just say that they're perfecting the art of bourbon. And that is what it is. I had the small batch for a long time, and I didn't have any other expressions of 1792. So I kind of slept on them for a long time because 1792 small batch doesn't really impress me. I had a pour of that just a bit ago this evening before sitting down with this 1792 aged 12 years. I just feel like the 1792 small batch just has so much competition in that arena, those small batch bourbons. There are so many out there, and I think 1792 small batch does a nice job, but for the price point, I just think there are just better bourbons out there. I think it's $35 or so for that small batch, and I don't think it commands that. It's just too much competition at that level of whiskey. The aged 12 years, it's a really nice nose. It's not super aggressive, but it's very present. It's very rich in some caramel, maybe just a hint of oak. It's not surprising as it's 12 years old. There's definitely just a bit of spice on there and some fruity notes, perhaps some apples. It is a really nice nose. I definitely appreciate this whiskey. I feel like I could just keep going back to it. Sometimes I'm hunting, and I'm not really finding anything there. And here I don't think there's a whole lot there, but as far as many different notes, it's relatively traditional, but it's nice and it's deep. Very rich and sweet. Anyway, cheers. I had some of their small batch just before this video. Just watching a little TV after work, and just reinforce how much the small batch is just okay. And I wanted to compare that note with this, and this is so much richer. Really heavy on the caramel. Just a bit of spice on there. It does lack. I'm a big fan, and I got the 1792 Foolproof at the same store, same thing. I saw it on the Facebook group, and I ran right over there, and I like the heck out of the 1792 Foolproof. 125 proof. It is very bright and aggressive. This is not an aggressive whiskey. It is also 30 proof less than the Foolproof. And I think 96.6 is a really nice proof. It has more depth than the 1792 Foolproof. It's relatively sweet. It's nice and viscous. It has, again, those fruits on there. Perhaps a bit of cherries in there. It's a really nice, rich, mature palate. Something I think you could sip and just enjoy. If you're doing the Foolproof, you're going for a wild ride. I opened my Whistle Pig 18 last night, and that's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's older than this, but that Whistle Pig 18, you can just sip and enjoy the maturity and a nice rye whiskey there. Bourbon, of course, but it reminds me of the same feeling I had last night drinking that Whistle Pig 18. You can just enjoy this, again, the maturity, the oakiness, the nice deep fruits, the nice sweetness. We're finishing with some spice, which is followed by some oakiness, and then rolling back into that sweetness, balanced out by that spice. I think overall this is a pretty good whiskey, and I'm happy to add this to my lineup. I feel like 1792, I've slept on them for a long time, and I've really just woken up to them in the past few months, and they've been on a tear. I've added the Sweet Wheat, the Foolproof, the Bottled and Bond, and the aged 12 years to my collection, and I think that is a nice. Now I'm looking for the high rye, and I can't find that high rye anywhere. So if you have the high rye, I'd love to know what your thoughts on that are. This is thought to be high rye or a higher rye, so I guess the high rye is even higher. Gosh, it doesn't make any sense. I wish these guys would publish their mash bills. I think that's okay. I don't know why. It's like it's some secret we're gonna copy their whiskey. I think some of these companies, Bardstown Bourbon Company, Redwood Empire, High West, these guys do a really nice job of, this is what our whiskey is, and enjoy it. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be able to make and copy their whiskey. So come on, 1792, give us the deets. Okay, I probably like this more than the Bardstown Bourbon Company. And I really enjoyed this whiskey, and I'll drop the description, or I'll drop the link to that video in the description below. Feel free to check that out. I think I actually like the 1792 aged 12 years more than the Bardstown Bourbon Company, which I did really like. I feel like this has more depth, more richness, and more maturity than the Bardstown, which again is a great whiskey. Okay, it's not super available. What is its competition? Let's say the Jack Daniel's 12 year and the Knob Creek 12 year. I have that. I think the Knob Creek 12 year is pretty available in the area. And if you say the MSRP is $49 for this one, the MSRP for the 12 year Knob Creek is $69.99. So that's about 20 bucks more. That's a really good whiskey. The Jack Daniel's 12 year I think is excellent, but it's even less available than the 1792. And the MSRP for that 12 year is, I don't even know, and I'm ashamed, and I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for my Jack Daniel's 12 year. All right, my guys. So what are your thoughts? Have you had the aged 12 years? I think this is a pretty great whiskey. I'm happy to have it. For 49 bucks, I might just go out and buy another one if I see another availability at that liquor store in Tampa. And I think if you haven't tried this, and if you like a nice classic bourbon, something that's rich in all those notes you like, it's not super exciting, and you can sip on it and enjoy it, I think the 1792 is a steal of a deal at $49.99. So if you can find one, I think you should add it to your shelf. All right, my guys, if you enjoyed the video, like it. It's free. Subscribe to see more of my content. I do both whiskey and book reviews. But for now, you know what to do. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the pages, my friends, and stay thirsty. Cheers.